and good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of you. Uh, COVID-19 has taken the world over by a storm, and as what Dr. Manoj had said, that homeopathy has a lot to offer. In fact, we have been treating a lot of COVID cases with homeopathy successfully, and it will definitely pay a homeopath to know his remedies well. In this time of trying times of for humanity overall, and homeopathy as a science has a lot to offer to the world, because COVID is here to stay. It is not going to go away so fast. So at least for 2 to 3 years, we are still going to meet COVID time in and again. And today I'm going to take up the remedies that are going to be useful to a homeopath while treating COVID cases. Before we begin, let me put up, just give me a second. I'm going to
Okay, sir. Okay.
start my screen sharing for you.
Okay.
And are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, yes,
All of you?
yes.
Yes? Good. Okay. So I would just, you know, just give you one of the case of COVID-19 pneumonias. And pneumonia happens to be one of the commonest complication of COVID-19. And homeopathy can definitely help even pneumonia patients. So this was a case of Mr. J.S., who was around 57 years, and he was a known diabetic. And he had severe cough from the upper throat and breathing difficulty on movement. He used to feel relief when the expectoration would come out, and the oxygen level would drop down to 89, 90 after coming from a washroom, or too much exertion while walking. And the expectoration was thick, that needs to be, there are a lot of coughing that was required for the phlegm to come out. And he felt the need for some medicine that can help him bring out the phlegm easily. And talking was slightly uncomfortable. It started, this particular complaint started with chills a week back. And the chills were with increased frequency of urination. And during chills, he would be needing 2 to 3 blankets. The fever was around 99 to 100. And with that, he had pain in calf muscle, elbow, which was better with Dolo. There was no cough at that time. Mild sputum was there initially. Thirst was not much. And the SpO2 at that level time was 91 to 89 to 88. And the random blood sugar was 295. Now, since he was a high risk patient as far as COVID-19 was concerned, because he was a diabetic, and the X-ray chest at that time showed normal, but CT scan we'll see the report what it shows. So the patient was admitted to the hospital on 210 with cough, and breathlessness was not better. So this was the CT scan report, which says that CORADs were around 10 out of 25. So the CT severity score was 10 out of 25. This was the HRCT done, and the patient had been in the hospital, and he was not getting better with the cough and the breathlessness. So on 6/10, he came with this particular complaint. Now we took up the features of this case, and we took up inflammation, lungs, pneumonia, thirstlessness, cough, irritation from throat, and rattling cough, and the expectoration which was very thick. So the remedy that came up was antimony tart. So on 6/10, we gave antimony tart 10 mg QDS, that is 4 times a day. And with the first dose, the patient started feeling that expectoration has started coming and became comfortable in cough. And because of that, even the breathing had become a little better. So in 2 days' time, the patient was better. And on 10/10, the patient had been discharged from the hospital. On 11/12, the patient's relative reported that with medicine, the cough had turned white and it comes out easily, which was, initially difficult. So this provided tremendous relief and boosted his confidence. And the SpO2 was 93 to 94. So similar, there are a lot of cases of pneumonia which have been, even treated by me and other homeopathic doctors also. And the important point is that one of the things we have to understand is the remedy. If we are very clear about the remedy, the response is going to be good. So what are the commonest remedies that come in use or help, as far as COVID-19 are concerned, is what I'm going to take up today. And, the commonest remedy that everybody talks about is arsenic and camphor. If we see the pathophysiology of both the remedies, we'll understand that why most of the people are talking about arsenic and camphor. So let's look as to what is the sphere of action of arsenic alb and what is the sphere of action of camphor. So ars alb affects the mucous membranes. It has an effect more on the right apex of the lung, the spleen and the skin. Camphor has more effect on the digestive tract and the cerebrospinal nerves. Now, COVID-19 also tends to affect the GIT. So it's not only the respiratory sphere, but even the GIT sphere where COVID-19 has its effect on. The causations for arsenic albis is from cold fruits, ice cream, quinine, grief, care, and fright. Whereas camphor has its causation in cold, drafts, suppressed eruptions, discharges, perspiration, ailments from sunstroke, vexation, and operations. So post-operative, conditions that they come up, these are the conditions where camphor comes into a lot of use. So when we compare the tongue of arsenic is clean, it is dry, whereas the tongue of camphor is bluish. So there is a clean and red dry tongue, whereas in camphor it is a bluish tongue, because there will be a little cyanosis that will be there in camphor. And the aggravations of arsenic are that they are aggravated after midnight. Generally 2 a.m. is what we all know about it. And they are worse from cold drinks, cold food, cold air, quinine, drinking liquids. Whereas camphor is aggravated by cold, drafts. Even when half asleep, the patient will have an aggravation in that particular point of time. Suppressions and mental exertions tend to aggravate camphor. As far as amelioration is concerned, arsenics are ameliorated by hot application, hot food, hot drinks. Warm wraps helps arsenic patients. And lying with head elevated. So in cases where there is cough and in pneumonia, the patient would like to have a little head up position. Whereas camphors are ameliorated by free discharges, sweat, thinking of complaints. Now this is very peculiar about camphor, that when they think about their problems, the camphor patient becomes a little more better about it. There is an important sensation which arsenic has, and that is arsenic has burning like fire, like hot needles or wires, whereas camphor has coldness. So here there is heat, burning, and in camphor you will have coldness, cramps, convulsions with. So there are spasmodic effects of camphor, but generally you will find cold skin, whereas arsenic you will find the patient complaining of heat, burning within. Thermally both are chilly, and mentally also this is the, we are into this particular age time where we most are, and most of us are having a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety, and this is a good ground for arsenic and camphor. Both have great anxiety and extreme restlessness. So in arsenic and camphor we find the current mental state that we all are in, with this particular type of the situation that we are seeing the world is going through. There is a lot of anxiety, there is a lot of fear everyone is having. And so this great anxiety and extreme restlessness is a feature of both the remedies. Arsenic has agonizing fear of death, whereas camphor has anguish at night about dying. Generally, this anxiety or anguish, is more at night time, and that's about dying. So, arsenic's despair recovery. There is a violence where they pull their hair, bite their nails. They are very fault finding because they are, fastidious person. So they tend to find a lot of faults with the surroundings, the nurses, the doctor. And the anxiety is better by motion. They desire to be carried very fast. So we hear patients talking that doctor, make me fast, make me well very fast. I want to get, out of the bed very fast. So, they would want you to give a quick relief to their complaints. And we look to that they are very fastidious. Camphor also has a destructiveness and they tear their clothes. They are also very quarrelsome. Darkness aggravates. So we find that the mental features of arsenic and camphor come very close by, very near in this particular type of the situation that we all are in. And camphors generally have an insensibility or vanishing of all senses. Whereas arsenics are generally, they are very fastidious. So they are on a watch or a lookout. So their alertness level is there. Physically, we find both the remedies have weakness. So there is a lot of weakness in both the remedies. So there is a sudden great weakness from trivial causes, and arsenics are very restless. They have pains which are burning like fire and which are wetted by heat. So very characteristically, our patients have burning which is better by heat. Pains which cause shortness of breath or chilliness. So in conditions where the patient is experiencing some pain, we'll find that, patient will have a shortness of breath or there will be a chilliness that is there. And the important point is, one of the important features of arsenic is that there is a putrid cadaverous odor. And one of the very good remedies for the destructive processes. And we know how destructive COVID-19 is because it causes thrombosis, pneumonia. So, it produces a lot of destruction within. And arsenic is one of the very good remedies for destructive processes. Camphor, on the other hand, will have a state of collapse. And we already saw that, that patient is icy cold. But they are yet averse to covering. So this is one very peculiar feature as in camphor, that though they have icy coldness of the skin, they don't want to be covered. And there is this alternates with an internal burning and anxiousness. And there is sudden weakness of fainting spells and growing worse. And pulse is small, weak, and profound weakness. Face is pale and blue lips. So the tongue is also bluish, the lips is also blue. So what are the confirmatory symptoms if you want to look out for arsenic? You should find pain with shortness of breath, chilliness, and sinking of strength. Either of the three things can be present when the patient is ill or having a pain or a discomfort. There is uneasiness in the lower limb, yet cannot lie still at night. So there is a restless feet. So you will find the RSL patient very restless, especially in the feet and more so at night time. Bad effects from animal matter. So we know the causation of COVID-19 and we are very familiar. So that's where we started off with. The problem started off. So bad effects from animal matter, whether by inoculation, ingestion or olfaction. And they drink little and often. So the thirst also is very characteristic of arsenic, drinking little sips of water, but very often. Whereas confirmatory features of camphor would be that the patient is having pain and when thinking about them, he becomes better. So the pain reduces when he pays attention to the part. So if he's having a little breathlessness and he thinks on the breathlessness part of it, he'll find that the breathlessness has settled down. There is coldness of limbs and cramps of calves. So the limbs will be cold and you will find that patient will have some cramps in the calf. It is very useful for coryza of first stage where the nose is stuffed up and the inspired air feels cold. I have seen patients who tell me that the air seems to be cold and there is a stuffed up feeling in the nose, and which actually in COVID-19 we hardly find. Very less patients will have free flow of discharges. It's generally blocked up or stuffed up feature. And chilly below the legs. So generally below the legs, the patient will have chilliness. So that would be the confirmatory symptoms. Let's look into what are the COVID symptoms. So nose feels stopped up is a part of, you'll have to excuse me for a moment. Yeah. So the COVID symptoms are nose feels stopped. They cannot bear smell or sight of food. They are unable to lie down because they fear suffocation. Shortness of breath. Darting pain through the upper third of the right lung. Arsenic has a very characteristic location, that is the upper third of the right lung. And they have a very short chilly stage, but prolonged fever. So the chilliness will be for a very short time. At the fever or the heat will go on for a very long time, and with little or no perspiration. And one of the important concomitants of chill is there will be dyspnea during chill. So if you have a case where the patient during chill stage is feeling breathless, that's arsenic. Whereas camphor would have nose stopped. So we already looked to this particular thing. There is a fluent coryza on a sudden change of weather. Coryzas in old age. Rattling in throat. There is violent dry cough. Breath is cold. We already looked through that there is a lot of coldness. So even the breath is very cold. There is almost complete arrest of breathing. And it is one of the very good remedies for sudden inflammatory fevers. And COVID-19 we know is a very good remedy for it has a lot of inflammation coming around, and there is a suddenness which is there. So these are the features that are there between arsenic and camphor, and that is why most of the homeopaths have been talking about arsenic and camphor. Now let's look to what are the similarities that are there between arsenic and camphor. Both have suddenness. Both are chilly but are better by heat. Both are thirsty. Both have fear of death. In both, there is great anguish and restlessness. In both, there is prostration, weakness. Both have burning in stomach. So no wonder, there is lot of similarities this remedy has at the base. And that is why there was a time where, there was a confusion that what has to be selected. But it's after all, it is the symptom of the patient that decides the remedy. But as homeopaths, we have to be aware that there is a lot of common grounds for arsenic and camphor. And I have listed a few of them, and they are all pointing out to, the disease spectrum. So the spectrum of the disease that we are currently facing in terms of the suddenness, in terms of fear of death, in terms of anguish, restlessness, in terms of prostration. There are a lot of patients who complain of extreme weakness after the fever has gone down. And both have chilliness, but they are better by heat. And both are thirsty. So the ameliorating feature of R-salb is that it is better by lying with head elevated, whereas camphors are ameliorated by thinking of complaints. We look through the peculiarity that is there, and that is cannot bear sight and smell of food in arsenic, whereas breath is very cold in camphor. The mentals in arsenic are, they are very fastidious. There is a despair of recovery. They are better in anxiety, they are better by emotion. Whereas camphors have darkness aggravates, and there is insensibility of senses. R-salb, as I told you, is very characteristic, that pain that goes through the upper third of the right lung. Whereas camphor has an almost complete arrest of breathing. And the tongue will help us differentiate arsenic alb and camphor, where in arsenic alb, the tongue is dry, clean, red, whereas in camphor, it will be bluish. So there will be some cyanosis that we may see in camphor patients. So these are the two common remedies that come in lot of help and lot of use in my practice. The next two remedies that come up are Gelsemium and Carboveg. And we all know that, these four remedies come very close by, because all of these remedies have a lot of weakness. So let's see or study, Gelsemium and Carboveg, how they come to help or use in COVID-19 cases. The effect of Gelsemium is on mucous membrane, that is nose, gall ducts, circulation, and we find that nose and circulation are two sphere of actions or effects of COVID-19. The brain cord, it works on occiput, base and the neck, motor nerves, muscles, and knees are the sphere of actions of Gelsemium. Whereas Carboveg has an effect on the heart, the venous circulation, blood, mucous membrane, the digestive tract, stomach, and lungs. So this also we find has a sphere of action of COVID-19 in terms of the blood, the digestive tract, the lungs, the mucous membrane. So this also are two remedies which come very closely, and it is very important that we differentiate these remedies so that we don't make mistakes, because we have very less time. We have very less symptoms coming up also. Nowadays, there are cases which they come up with very less symptoms. So a drug has to be studied in all the effects at all the levels. And if we study it in this particular way, it will be easy to differentiate the remedies. So let's look to the causation. Gelsemium has depressing emotions as the cause of it. And we all know that we all are going through a lot of mental, upheaval. There's a lot of mental upheaval that is going on as far as the current scenario is concerned. So subjective, we all are subjecting ourselves to a lot of depressing emotions. And the news, on the television adds on to all those things. Gelsemium is useful for fright, bad news, anger, and damp weather. Carboveg, on the other hand, has a causation of bad eggs, wines, bad fish, bad poultry. So these are also good sources of, and the origination of COVID-19 also came from that particular thing. So ice water, salt or salt food, butter are the causations of Carboveg. The aggravations are in Gelsemium. It is bad news. When thinking of his ailments, now this is in contrast to camphor. Camphors are better by thinking of the ailments. Gelsemiums are worse by thinking of the ailments. Emotions, especially dread. So we all have a lot of dread about it. So there is a dread, ordeals, 10 a.m. aggravation, and when spoken to of his loss. So it can be not in terms of losing a near and dear one, but it can be in terms of the losses, that we all are facing. Probably many people are facing as far as their work is concerned, as far as monetary loss is concerned. So there are a lot of losses that everyone is going through. So that also tends to aggravate a Gelsemium patient. Whereas Carboveg is aggravated by warmth, loss of vital fluid. So somebody who has diarrhea, loose motions, depletions, exhausting diseases, high living, rich food, decayed food tends to worsen Carboveg patients. And Gelsemiums are better by profuse urination, sweating, shaking, mental efforts. Mental efforts tends to help Gelsemium patients. Stimulants. And we all know how, there has been a line for people going for stimulants and going and buying alcohol. There is a very nice WhatsApp which is going, which I don't know if you have seen, of an old lady who says that, there is no need to take anything, just take alcoholic drink and you'll be all right. That's a WhatsApp which is going about a lady who is maybe, I think, more than 70 years. So stimulants tends to ameliorate Gelsemium patients, and they are better by continued motion. That is why people, when in a lockdown, also want to move out, and what they get into. So we find that these are all the state that everybody is in at the current scenario. And that is why Gelsemium is one of the very good remedies for COVID-19. Carboveg are better by eructations. They are better by elevating feet. Cool air ameliorates. And they are better by fanning. And we know Carboveg patients are generally better by fanning from, when they are having breathlessness. What about the mental state of Gelsemium? Gelsemium does not want to wish to speak to or have anyone near her, even if the person be silent. So they have an apathy about the illness because there is dullness, languor, and listlessness. With that, there is restlessness also because of the anticipation, the fear, the fright, the exciting news that led to physical ailments. Whereas Carboage has anxiety, especially in the evening, which we saw also in camphor. Generally at night time, there is a lot of anguish. So Carboage also has anxiety, which is there in the evening, in bed, during twilight, closing eyes, because there is fear of ghosts, of people, of accidents, and there is aversion to darkness, indifference, hears everything out without pleasure or pain, peevishness, irritability, inclined to get angry, there is confusion of mind. So this would be the features of Carboage patient. At the physical level, we have dizziness, dullness, drowsiness, and trembling in Gelsemium. There can be eyes or visual effects and polyuria. And it is generally one or two of these symptoms usually accompany most of the disease conditions in which Gelsemium is indicated. There is muscular weakness, aching, tiredness, and weakness. So the same weakness we find is also in camphor. That's Carboage. Its Carboage also has weakness, flatulence. There is a fetor, bad odor, or air hunger are also present as with most of the complaints. There is want of susceptibility to well-selected remedy. So Carboage, will be a very good remedy when selected remedy does not give result or a response. So there is a want of susceptibility to well-selected remedy. It is suitable to an atonic condition where there is lack of reaction. And in the last stage of disease, with air hunger, coldness that is there, Carboage will come to aid. And I have used Carboage, in the recent times. So Gelsemium is indicated with muscular weakness, aching, tiredness, weakness, soreness, especially felt in the muscles or the extremities. There are tremors or twitchings of the single muscles, face, chin, tongue, etc. So we find some twitching, some tremor. There is heavy drooping of the eyelids. Now that also is, don't read it as camphor, it's Carboage. Actually, in the last stages of the disease with copious cold sweat, cold breath, cold tongue, and loss of voice, the remedy may save life. And it will not fail. It has definitely helped me in some of the cases where the patient has been revived back with Carboage. So cold but want air to be fanned. And thick acrid discharge. Tongue is cold, black, swollen, covered with white, yellow, brown coating. So that would be Carboage. Confirmatory symptoms of Gelsemiums are, the symptoms are of a gradual onset. There is an apathy regarding his illness. It could be his or her. So apathy regarding the illness. There is dullness, dizziness, drowsiness, trembling, thirstlessness is one of the additional other features of Gelsemium. Desires for light, wants to be quiet are very important aspects of Gelsemium patients. And they have complaints from anticipation. So patient has a lot of worry, what's going to happen, how it's going to go, whether I'm going to get all right or not. And this complaints add on to the patients complain additionally. So that would be Gelsemium. Carboage, on the other hand, would we look through have cold, chilly, but wants air to be fanned. Thirst for cold water. There is icy coldness, unilaterally of tongue, knees, foot. So of parts generally, partial icy coldness you will find in carbo-veg patients, especially at night. And there will be internal burning, heat. The patient may be lifeless, but the head is hot, coldness of breath. So you will find that the head is hot and the patient is cold. And there will be coldness of breath. That would be carbo-veg. So what are the COVID symptoms? Generally in Gelsemium, it's acute coryza with dull headache and fever. They are flu-like symptoms with fever, headache, dizziness, and general weakness. There will be thin, acrid, watery discharge from the nose. And Farrington says that no other remedy has cured more cases of La Grippe or endemic or epidemic influenza. So according to Farrington, Gelsemium is one of the very important remedies which comes of much use in epidemics of influenza. He says no other remedy has cured more cases of La Grippe, that means influenza, in endemic or epidemic. Whereas carbo-veg has coryza in warm, moist weather. Hoarseness is there. So the patient will complain of hoarseness more so in the evening. There is rawness in larynx from frequently clearing of the throat and rawness if there is a mild symptoms of coryza. And if there are severe symptoms of coryza or of COVID, Gelsemium will have slowness of breathing with great prostration. There will be hot, heavy, flushed face, hot to touch, spasms of glottis, long crowing inspiration, sudden forcible expiration. So there will be a very long crowing. So the inspiration will take a longer time and the expiration will be, they'll be fast and forcible. A feeling as if it is necessary to keep in motion or else heart's action will cease. Pulse is very soft, weak. And we look through that, there is a gradual loss of control over the lower limbs. Whereas carbo-veg in severe COVIDs generally have cough and burning in the chest. There is a spasmodic cough and bluish face, offensive expectoration. So fetor is one part of carbo-veg. So there will be an offensiveness of expectoration. Neglected pneumonias, destructive lung diseases. And last stage of disease with copious cold sweat, cold breath, cold tongue and voice lost. So in this particular type of condition where we find that patient has come to a terminal stage of the disease, carbo-veg will revive. So let's look at the comparative aspects of Gelsemium and carbo-veg. So in Gelsemium, there is dizziness, drowsiness, dullness and trembling. Eyes or visual effects and polyuria. Whereas carbo-veg, you will have weakness, flatulence, fetor, air hunger, wants to be fanned. Gelsemiums are thirstless. Carbo-veg has immoderate thirst. Gelsemiums are aggravated by damp, whereas carbo-veg are aggravated by warmth. Gelsemium does not wish to speak to or have anyone near her, even if the person is silent. So Gelsemium patient would like to be on their own. They don't want to be disturbed. So they just don't want anyone around them. Whereas carbo-veg has anxiety, especially in the evening, in bed, during twilight, on closing eyes. Gelsemium is generally right-sided and carbo-veg is more useful for old age patients. And the time of aggravation of gelsemium is 10 a.m. Whereas carboveg, it is night before falling asleep. So to sum up these 4 remedies, gelsemium, carboveg, camphor and arsal, all of them have weakness, prostration, coldness and heat in some form. So there is a weakness, prostration, coldness. Gelsemium has coldness up and down the back. This is very characteristic of gelsemium, where they will have coldness, cold feeling that is going up and down the back. Whereas carboveg will have coldness, but there will be hot head. And camphor in this coldness wants to uncover. Whereas arsenic in this coldness has internal heat. So you see how the remedy, differentiates itself. There is a very clear-cut, demarcation that remedies have set for themselves. Gelsemiums physically will have symptoms of dullness, dizziness, drowsiness, polyuria, tremors. Carboveg will have air hunger, eructation ameliorates, desires for fanning also, flatulence, so there will be gas formation, and fetor, offensiveness. Camphor would come up when there is almost complete arrest of breathing. Arsenic is a collapsed state of pneumonia, cannot bear sight and smell of food. Gelsemium is thirstless. Carboveg has food that tastes salty, whereas camphor has food that tastes bitter. Arsenic will have dryness of mouth and thirst, which is little but often. Gelsemium will have a trembling tongue because there is a lot of tremor that we see in gelsemium. So there will be, when you protrude the tongue, the person will show a tremor in the tongue. Carboveg will have an indented tongue. Camphor will be bluish tongue. And arsenic album would be dry, clean and red tongue. So I hope you get the picture of these 4 remedies. Tomorrow we'll look to another 4 remedies which are very commonly used for COVID-19. And I hope that helps you to treat COVID patients. Thank you so much to all of you and God bless.
Thank you.
If there are any questions, we can go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Modi, for your wonderful presentation.